Summer meteor showers are gearing up, and what you see behind me here is a photo of a Perseid meteor taken just a few nights ago with the Astro whole sky camera installed at the home of EarthSky's own Marcy Curran. So Perseid meteors are flying already, and you might catch one anytime now. And now, coming up, a discussion that we recorded late last week on how you can have the most fun watching meteors between now and about mid August. Hope you enjoy it. Hello, meteor watchers. I'm here with my friend Bob King, aka AstroBob, our favorite night sky observer. We're here to tell you how to get the most out of summer meteors in 2025. And we're also going to tell you about a very special planet event that reaches its peak on the peak mornings of the Perseids around August 11th and 12th and 13th. So, Bob, meteor-wise, it's a little tricky this year, right?
It's a little bit. We're always kind of playing a little game with the moon. You know, if there's a bright moon, you have fewer meteors. And if the moon's out of the sky, you get the very best of what a shower can offer. So with the Perseids, for instance, the moon will be just past full. So it will sort of knock down the number of meteors per hour. So that will have an effect. You'll still see Perseids, though, absolutely. But for the other shower, which are the southern Delta Aquariids, and that's quite a mouthful, that shower will not have any interference from moonlight. So we'll see that to its full intensity. And that occurs just a couple of weeks before the Perseid shower.
Yeah, and we are recording this on July 18th. And we're already in the meteor stream of both the Delta Aquariids and the Perseids. Like the meteors stem from these cometary particles that are left behind in space, and Earth is passing through those streams of debris, and we're in those streams of debris as we're recording this. So you could see a Perseid or you could see a Delta Aquariid anytime now.
Yeah, really. Anytime it's clear at night and you're outside looking, you could see either shower because they do overlap, as you said, Debbie. And what's interesting is that the showers radiate or stream from kind of opposite directions in the sky. So, for instance, the Delta Aquariids, they come from the south, whereas the Perseids appear in the northeast. So you could be out and look this way and you see one here and then you see one coming there and you're kind of caught in between. They're coming at you from all different directions. So it's a wonderful time of year. And that's one thing about shower meteors. They do stream from a point in the sky. So the southern Delta Aquariids come from the constellation of Aquarius near the star Delta. And that's kind of midway up the southern sky after midnight. And then the Perseids are out in the northeast, and they stream from a radiant point, we call it, in the constellation of Perseus.
Yes, so they're coming from two different places in the sky. And my perspective and Bob's perspective are a little bit different because I live at a very southerly latitude in the United States, and Bob lives at a very northerly latitude in the United States. Yeah, that's right. We've got all the perspectives for you today. And so for my latitude, the Delta Aquariids are a great shower. Like we see lots and lots of Delta Aquariids around the time that the Perseids are rising to their peak. So for me, I think of those two showers as kind of being one thing. Like Bob says, they're coming from different places in the sky. But when we're out looking for Perseids, we're seeing Delta Aquariids as well.
Yeah, and for me, the shower point, the streaming point is quite a bit lower in the sky. We still get them, but Debbie, we only get about maybe half the number that you would see because there are meteors streaming also below our horizon. And when that streaming point is near the horizon, well, the horizon cuts off a bunch of those for us, although we still will see the shower in the northern U.S., no problem about that. but instead of, I think the amounts are about 25 per hour for the Delta Aquariids. But for our area here in northern Minnesota, the northern U.S., it's closer to probably 15 per hour. So a little bit of a difference based upon latitude, and that's based upon how high that streaming point is.
And Bob, tell us how those rates for the Delta Aquariids compare to the Perseids in a moon-free year.
Oh, yes. And those do happen sometimes too. Sometimes you have no moon for both showers, which is just, lucky charm there. So in a moon-free year, for the Perseids, you might see anywhere from 60 to 80 meteors per hour from a very dark sky, okay, with minimal light pollution. And of course, with the Delta Aquariids, you might see around 25 per hour, but moonlight will always kind of compromise that number. So that's to be expected. But it's still always worth it to go out and look at a meteor shower. At least to me, it's not so much about the number, but just the anticipation. That is part of the great joy of watching a meteor shower, is thinking, when is the next one coming? And then when you least expect it, there it comes. And then it sort of eggs you on to stay out longer. And then you see another one and another one. And before long, you may discover it's dawn. So, and time to go to bed.
And let's look at a meteor. This is a picture that you took, right, Bob?
Yes, I did. And it shows a Perseid meteor. It was passing in the photograph. I labeled it here, but that little blurry spot in the lower left is the Andromeda Galaxy, so it's in the same frame. And you'll notice it has a very bright green trail. That's because that's where the particle first strikes the atmosphere. It's moving very fast, and it excites the oxygen atoms way, way, way high up, about 60, 65 miles high. And it causes them to give off a green light.
And Perseid meteors do tend to be colorful meteors. Like the meteors that come in annual showers all have their own unique characteristics, as everything does in nature.
They do.
And yeah. And so the Geminids in December, for example, tend to be sort of bright, white, quick meteors. But the Perseids are known for being a very colorful shower. Now, that is one reason in 2025 to try to avoid the moon. So, let's talk about the moon for a second.
Sure. Yes.
So new moon is July 24th. So from my perspective, Bob, late July and early August are a good time to go out and watch for meteors in a dark sky. Moonlight, the moon, I think first quarter moon is August 1st. And after first quarter moon, the moon is going to be up. It's best to watch meteors after midnight. You've probably heard that before. After midnight, Earth has turned so that it's got you face on into the meteor stream in space. So you'll tend to see more meteors after midnight. But after that August 1st, first quarter moon, the moon will be in the sky between midnight and dawn for longer and longer and longer and longer and longer, all the way to full moon on August 9th.
And our faces just get longer and longer and longer too when that happens. I'm sorry.
Right. Right. And that's going to be the case all the way up to full moon on August the 9th. And a full moon is in the sky all night. And then after full moon, there's going to be this waning gibbous moon, what we call a waning gibbous. So a gibbous moon is more than half lighted, but less than full. And that moon will be in the sky between midnight and dawn, the peak hours for watching meteors. So what do you say, Bob? There's two options.
So there are options on this, of course.
Yeah, there's options.
For the Delta Aquariids, that's before the first quarter moon, before the half moon. And so since this shower maximizes in the morning hours, the moon will have set around approximately 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the evening, so that the Delta Aquariids are dark. So you just need to find a dark place and you'll be able to watch these meteors. They're quite swift. They zip out of Aquarius from the southern sky. And the peak of that shower, they're active for many days, many nights, but the peak of the deltas occurs on the night of July 29th and the morning of July the 30th. Then we shift forward to the Perseids, which will peak, as you mentioned, Debbie, on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of August. All throughout this time, the moon will be bright, but it will not be full moon, thankfully. It will be in the waning gibbous phase, so not quite as bright. So it will cut the number of meteors visible. When you're out for that shower, you can still go to a dark sky if you like, and won't make as much of a difference. But the key there is when you're viewing the shower is to face away from the moon so that you don't damage your night vision. You keep as much dark vision as possible to see as many meteors as possible. So if you're in your front yard, the thing to do is just take your lounging chair. That's what I do. I always lay out on a chair and I put a blanket over me. And then I look up, just point that away from the moon. You can face any direction you want to see the Perseids or any meteor shower for that matter, because they stream from one point but cover all areas of the sky. Just face away from the moon.
Right, or you can stand in what we call a moon shadow. So you can stand in the shadow of a barn or a mountain or a grove of trees or something. You'll see more meteors from inside a moon shadow than if you're just lying out there, under the
moon bath.
taking a moon bath.
Take a moon bath. Yeah, I sometimes I just use my house sometimes for that, but sometimes you just can't avoid the moon. It's going to shine down in front of you. So as long as you're not facing it, you're facing with the moon to your back, let's say, you're going to see some meteors. You're going to preserve your night vision, which will mean you'll see more. So those are great, all good ways to view a shower.
But there's never going to be a time in 2025 where you're going to have a perfectly dark sky to see the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. That's not going to happen in 2025. You're not going to have those 60 to 80 meteors per hour probably, because when that's happening, the moon is going to be in the sky and it's going to be blotting out the fainter meteors. But as Bob was saying earlier, it's not the number that's important. It's not the number of meteors you see that's important. It's the overall experience of going out into the country and lying there under a dark sky, moon or no moon, and seeing what you can see.
Exactly. It's a shower is a chance to get you out in nature and to enjoy all of the other things that come along with being an observer of nature and an observer of the night sky. You're out there at the night, there's the sounds, there's satellites, there are other meteor showers active. So you see these random meteors not connected with the showers. You can bring an app out with you and learn a few constellations that are up at that hour. So just getting out is great. And then, my gosh, in the middle of it all, suddenly there's a brilliant meteor and you're like, wow, you're going to see those really bright ones that, could change your life in some way. Certainly cause you a lot of excitement. And I always tell people I like the meditative aspect of meteor shower watching.
Oh, yeah.
The anticipation, there's the sort of relaxedness, and then the sudden punctuation of a brilliant meteor, and then the quiet. Just this sort of rhythm I find very satisfying.
And meteor watching is a lot like fishing. So you go and you just enjoy being there, and sometimes you catch something.
Boy, you couldn't have put it better. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yes.
Yes.
And here on the bottom of the screen, you can see a link to an article at earthsky.org, Meteors and Moonlight, Tips for Watching. So come to that article and get some tips. But we have saved the very best thing to talk about for last. And let me get back to where I can show that to you. There we are. Yay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And I
So
love that this coincides with the Perseid meteor shower. It's like the surprise at the bottom of the box, the bonus.
it is. So if you were to go out, so again, we're recording this on July 18th. If you were to go out tomorrow morning and look in the east before dawn, you would have a good shot. You saw them this morning, right, Bob? You said you saw both Venus and
I
Jupiter.
did, yes. Of course, they were separated there, but they're gradually moving together from our perspective.
So if you start watching them now, you can see them get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer together. And Venus and Jupiter are the two brightest planets. They are much brighter than any of the stars. So you can see this from the country, from the city, from anywhere you want to look. You can see Venus and Jupiter in the sky before dawn, getting increasingly closer over the next few weeks and being super close. Bob, tell us how close they're going to be.
Oh my gosh, they're going to be so close. They'll be less than, uh, if you imagine two full moons touching, they will be less than two full moons apart, which means uh, that you could take your pinky, your little finger, stretch it out to the end of your arm, stretch like that, and that little fingertip will just cover those two planets. So, and to the eye, it's just going to look remarkable. You're going to have, again, the two brightest planets side by side. Look for them starting about an hour and a half to an hour before sunrise at this time. Be sure you have a good view to the east, where you don't have any hills or trees in the way so that you can see this. And I always recommend, if possible, to get down to a lake so that you can see two of these beautiful conjunctions simultaneously, the one in the sky and the reflection in the water. And bring your smartphone. This is something you can record on your smartphone easily, especially as the sky gets brighter, get a little twilight in the mix.
Those smartphones are getting really good at taking pictures of the night sky. It's
Yes,
amazing.
it is amazing. And I saw a recent photo taken with a smartphone. It was an iPhone 16, and it was like 30 images of the same thing, the Milky Way. And the photographer stacked all those images together like a bunch of pancakes, one atop the other, and produced an unbelievably magnificent picture of our galaxy at night. So, yes,
Wow.
their capabilities are incredible.
They are, they are. And I want people to notice that this is August 12th when Venus and Jupiter are going to be closest. So again, the Perseid meteor shower peaks on the 11th, the mornings of the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So right in the middle of that, we're going to get this Venus and Jupiter, amazing Venus and Jupiter conjunction. So,
Yes. Wow. I hope it'll be clear for everybody who's watching and listening.
well,
and
we've
it,
had
and if it isn't, let's say it isn't clear that morning, because this does happen. We know, Debbie. Go out the morning before, go out the morning after. This is not
yes.
a one morning event. It is spread like the Perseids over multiple mornings. This is just the particular morning when the two will be closest. That would be the 12th of August.
Yes. Okay. So what do you think, Bob? Should we just touch on the comet? Okay.
So
Go ahead.
what do you want me? So we have
I
the
want you to
comet
go ahead.
here. We have the Comet 96. This is an incredible photograph. So it was taken by an orbiting spacecraft. And you can see Comet 96P Machholz, which is approaching the sun. It's very close. It's got a tail there, and there's a planet Venus. And at the same time, the sun's blasting off one of these big coronal mass ejections. So quite an amazing image. 96P Machholz is the primary source for the southern Delta Aquariid meteor shower. So those meteors you're seeing are actually particles that once belonged to a comet. And Earth is crossing the path of that comet. So those particles are streaming into the atmosphere at very high speed, like 89,000 miles an hour, striking it, incinerating, glowing, and creating the meteor shower that we see.
And this comet was discovered by Don Machholz, who used to work with EarthSky. He passed away during the COVID-19 year, the big year that everyone was shut in. So that was very sad because he was a fantastic guy.
Oh, he was really a tremendous American comet discoverer. And this is a unique comet, passes very close to the sun. Again, one of the sources for the Delta Aquariids. And they've done studies, Debbie, about the material that we're actually seeing that's coming into the atmosphere. And they have discovered, scientists have discovered that it's related to meteorites found on the Earth called carbonaceous chondrites, which are carbon and water rich meteorites. And would you like to see a slice? I've got one here in my hand. This is a slice of a carbonaceous chondrite from a much bigger piece. You can see how thin it is. And this comes from Algeria, and its name is NWA for Northwest Africa 14858. So material like this, but in particle form, is what's creating our meteor showers.
Wow, that is cool. Oh, so this object, I didn't realize that. So this object is more rocky than icy?
Yes, most of the material that comes in is dust, I guess, sand-sized particles primarily.
Oh, I just blanked that out somehow. That is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
It really is. It's just that, anyway, go ahead.
I want to end on this beautiful image that Bob took. And we just hope that all of you will get out there and watch some meteors, either in late July or the first, going into August when the moon is going to start being an increasing problem. Follow some tips to minimize that moonlight and, do what you can to watch some meteors, because it's a wonderful experience to watch meteors.
It is. And bring friends with you, or if you're parents, keep the kids up late or wake the kids up so that they can enjoy the shower too. I wish you all clear skies.
Absolutely. One Earth, one sky, EarthSky.